Hi, I'm Elizabeth Dackson, and for today's community segment, we're here with Katie Burford from the Indianapolis MQG. Hi, Katie, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Great.
good. Listen, I understand you had a big part in putting together the Indianapolis Modern Quilt Guild. I know that that was kind of a challenging experience for you guys. What are some of the things you think that would be really helpful for a new guild to get started with to know?
Yeah, so one of the big things for us was like just starting out informal and like doing kind of a grassroots sort of thing. And we didn't start with a charter, we didn't have a board or anything. We just started meeting in coffee shops.
Oh, what a great
free
idea.
Spaces, the library, places that were available without spending a lot of money, doing smaller activities to kind of move us along and just get together a group and start to build the community.
What kinds of small activities did you do early on?
So we did some like sewing activities where we'd get together and sew, and we'd talk about different things. We went to the museum and saw a quilt show that was at the museum locally there. We did a lot of different, informal activities too, just like show and tell, that type of stuff.
That sounds great. Now, with a group like that, once you guys start meeting sort of regularly, I imagine you kind of started to have a little bit of a core membership meeting on a regular basis. What started to happen when you would have new members come to start to join the fold? Was that kind of a challenge to deal with for you?
Yeah, so one of the things that people said to us when we did some surveying and stuff was, you're kind of cliquey.
Oh no,
and
that's
we were
the
like,
worst thing to hear.
We don't want to be clicked.
Yeah, how did you deal with that?
Something that we started doing was making sure that we were welcoming anybody that was brand new and like introduce ourselves, talk to them, try and include them in a conversation, ask them about the quilt they've brought, that type of stuff. So
that's wonderful.
We weren't just like, oh, we're over here having a girls' party and we don't know who you are.
Yeah, that's challenging, definitely. It's always important, I think, as a group of people to make sure that new members feel welcome and feel like they're a part of the fold right from the get-go. Absolutely, that's definitely some really good advice. Thinking about how the group has grown and evolved over time, I'm sure that there were a lot of things that happened over time that maybe not so fun. What were some of the things that were really important to keep in mind as the group grew and evolved? Just kind of things to remind yourself of as the group grew.
Yeah, so one thing is just don't get discouraged. When we were putting together the guild, we found that sometimes like we would have a meeting and it would be like me and 2 other people.
Oh no.
And sometimes like there would be like 20 people that would show up. And so it was like, what is happening? So what we would do is we would try something else. Like if nobody wanted to come, to the museum to see the quilt show, then we would try like a picnic in the park. And then,
fun.
We would try meeting at the coffee shop again just to do show and tell and kind of talk about quilting. And, we did sew-ins to try and see, maybe were people just interested in sewing. So we tried a variety of things. We also tried variety of days, locations.
Great.
Trying to like find what the groove was where we could get better attendance.
And how big is the group now?
We have about 45 members, I believe.
That is great.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing about your group,
Thank
Katie.
you.
It sounds like you guys have done a great job, and I'm sure that you've shared some great tips about how to build a guild. Thank you so much, Katie, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.